Saturday, high near 58. I'm meteorologist Michael Cotter with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Right now, it's 41 degrees.
The only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw with their newly expanded showroom. They have absolutely everything you need for decorating your home, including now countertops, quartz, granite, porcelain. You'll find it all at Westside Decorating. Open phones later on in the program, right through 11:30 this morning, but we're going to start the program talking to our good friend who is a partner in the law firm of Honnigan, and he is former federal prosecutor and former U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Michigan. We say good morning to Matthew Schneider. Matthew, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Thank you for having me.
Yep, always a pleasure. Of course, I should tell everybody Matthew is a Frankenmuth native, so he's no stranger to the area.
Exactly.
Let's spend a little bit of time. The Silicon Valley Bank collapse was a major shock to the banking industry in the country. And the Department of Justice has opened an investigation. When they open an investigation into a bank collapse like this, what are they looking for? What's the possible illegal portions here?
What they're really looking for is whether the executives at the bank statements or misled their investors. And banks like this are publicly traded on the stock exchange, and you can't make false statements when you're a bank executive. What's really important to know is the context about Silicon Valley Bank. This is not a normal bank. Like in a normal bank for us, we go into the bank and we deposit a couple $100, maybe a couple $1,000, and it's protected by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and we know that we'll get our money back. The Silicon Valley Bank was a bank for venture capitalists and startups, very risky companies, and they were putting in millions and millions and millions of dollars into those banks, that bank, and because they felt secure. They felt that that would be a safe place to put their money. And the question that the government now is looking at is, were those people who put all that money into the bank, where the bank actually wasn't a safe place to put their money, and were they lied to? And that's exactly what the government's trying to figure out now.
Okay, I want to separate something out here. Lied to, of course, is one set of circumstances. Making bad business decisions is another, and not illegal, correct? I mean, if the owners of the bank were making very poor investment decisions with their depositor money, and then the interest rates caught them by surprise, that's one set of circumstances. Lying about the condition of the bank, lying about the security of the funds, that's a whole nother, right?
Yes, that's true. But the allegation is that the bank was really misrepresenting, not giving the full truth. Maybe it's halfway in between what you're saying. It wasn't a full-out lie, but it wasn't really telling the complete truth either, in trying to tell the bank customers, this is a great place to keep your money, and there's not the same level of risk. And even that itself, if you're misrepresenting what your investments are, that itself is a crime.
I have to ask this is kind of philosophical, but, you know, the president comes out and says, well, all these depositors, all of their funds will be covered, even though many of them are well above the $250,000 limit. What does that tell other banks down the road?
Well, some would say that that's really not good because, it's like a bailout, what it really is. When you register for one of these accounts, you know that the limit is $250,000. That's all you're going to get. And if the banks can just get bailed out from these mistakes, you run a risk that banks can continue to operate improperly or mislead shareholders, and they'll get away with it. And now if they wouldn't be able to get away with it, it would teach them a lesson, and they would make sure to toe the line. But I think in general, bank bailouts like this might be sending the wrong message to people who are both investors and executives of banks.
So how long typically, and you've been involved in white collar crime for a long time, how long does an investigation like this take?
I have bad news for you, Art, and the bad news is not only does it take years, but oftentimes nothing really comes out of it. And if you look back at the banking crisis back in 2000, when we had mortgages that were given out and loans that were given out at really rates that people may have been deceived, sub-mortgage, subprime. Yeah. Right, exactly. And did anyone really go to prison for that? Not really. I mean, there were a couple different cases, but for the most part, a lot of people escaped justice, and that's also not good news.
So, in other words, if I want to find out the results of all of this, I have to keep working for a long time.
Correct.
What you're telling me.
Exactly.
Thanks, Matt. I really appreciate it, Matthew.
Exactly.
The regulators, were they asleep at the wheel?
That issue has been raised, and the question is who's at fault? Is it the bank executives or is it the bank regulators? Now, argument that this bank was able to do it because it was able to get the Dodd-Frank rule changed in Congress to make it easier for the bank to give out money to certain lenders. But nevertheless, even if that did happen, which it did, the banks still have a certain amount of scrutiny that they're under. And there's a lot of questions now being raised by people saying that they weren't being observed as closely as they should have been, that people knew that this was a very risky bank, and the regulators were asleep at the wheel. And that's also a question, but unfortunately, that's also very difficult to police because the policing arm for that is typically Congress. And if you think law enforcement works slowly,
yeah,
how about Congress? That takes forever. And, whether that will even be effective is really hard to believe.
Can you hang on for another segment? I got to take a break. We
Sure.
are talking to Matthew Schneider. He is a partner at Honnigan, one of the largest legal firms in the state of Michigan, former federal prosecutor and the former U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan. We will be back with him right after these notes here on WSGW. And before we get to the notes, it's time to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering this baseball word online at WSGW.com. The word this hour is Brewers, like in Milwaukee Brewers, Brewers. It's an Alpha Media Company-wide contest. Must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center on WSGW.
Hemlock Public School District continues to be a leader in innovation, recognized as one of the premier school districts in the state. Community offers engagement in extracurricular activities from sports, drama, fine arts, robotics, sports, and more. Hemlock Public Schools is a leader in innovation, collaboration, and education with programs from the cradle to early middle college and more. Call us today at 989-642-5282. That's 642-5282 or hemlockps.com. Hemlock Public Schools, excellence in education. Enroll today.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell. Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to three key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important. A lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
yeah,
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon says the failure of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank last month is nothing like the 2008 financial crisis, but will have repercussions for years. In his annual letter to shareholders, Dimon says this wasn't the finest hour for many players. He suggests reworking the Federal Reserve's annual stress tests. Dimon also says the U.S. economy is strong but faces challenges. AMC Entertainment shares are sharply lower. The movie theater chain has reached a settlement that will allow it to go ahead with converting its AMC preferred shares into common stock. Walmart's two-day investor meeting starts today. Analysts believe this is shaping up to be a good quarter. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Kosova, invested in you.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metal. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable, from polos and khakis to Oxfords or T-shirts. These clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, presented by Capital One. Ooh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my Outdoor Magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option, Saturday morning. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
Back with you, talking to Matthew Schneider, the former U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan, now a partner at Hunnigan. Matthew, I want to drag you kicking and screaming to another thing which is very much in the news, and that, of course, is the pending arraignment today of former President of the United States. I know the eyes of the world are going to be on it. It's a major event. From a legal standpoint, what do you see happening?
So from a legal standpoint, there's something I find very interesting. Number one is that the people who are talking about the charges are saying that it's baseless. A lot of people are saying that there's no merit to the prosecution, et cetera. But I think you have to look at the number two part of that is we don't even know what the charges are. we don't even know what the evidence is. All we know is what has been reported in the media. So it would make a lot of sense, I think, for people who care about the rule of law and respect the law to be out and jumping to the conclusions about what the law is. Let's actually find out what's going on, and then we can draw some conclusions. And I think there's going to be evidence that comes out today that we've never seen before, and there'll be allegations in the indictment that we're not aware of, and we can draw some conclusions after that.
And apparently some of it's been leaked, that there's 34 counts that have all been elevated to Class E felonies. I guess the question I have, though, is from everything I've read about it or heard about it, federal prosecutors refused to touch it. The New York City District Attorney's Office, up until Bragg, refused to touch it. What changed? Do we know?
We don't know that yet, but I have read in the media, as a lot of people have, that as currently explained, as currently that we have this information, this charge sounds like it's trying to jam a square peg into a round hole, and that it doesn't quite fit, and that the federal prosecutors passed on this because they didn't think it was a viable prosecution, and that's why it was also reconsidered, which also doesn't make it sound like it's going to be a very strong case. Again, we don't know because there could be additional business counts involved. But if you really are trying to bootstrap a federal crime into a state crime, that's generally not how it's done. And we'll have several defenses that they'll raise in court. And their first priority is to get this knocked out before it even gets to a jury. And that's exactly what they're going to try to do.
How often does that happen, where a judge will dismiss based on a request of the defense?
It's relatively rare, but it does happen, and I've seen it happen myself in court cases where your case could be thrown out because of the evidence isn't sufficient, or your case could be thrown out because the witnesses are not telling the truth and they're not credible, or there could be evidence that isn't enough. So that's possible, and I think the Trump campaign is also going to say that they've missed the statute of limitations, which is the time period from which once a crime is committed to when you have to bring a charge. It can't be longer in most cases than 5 years. And if they took too long to bring this case, that could be another reason why they could lose it before even getting to the jury.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the Matthew Schneider career right now at Hannigan. You're covering white collar, aren't you? You're specializing in that?
I am, and a lot of what I do is helping people who have gotten money, get their money back. Most lawyers don't do that, but it's kind of fun and enjoyable. I get to help people who have been victims of crime or been defrauded, and oftentimes it's helping a company who's been robbed, and I get the money back for them.
I won't ask how you do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of secret tricks up my sleeve that I still use with my law enforcement connections, but it's very enjoyable.
Yeah, do you miss the law enforcement side?
Well, I miss law enforcement. I miss that. I don't miss the bureaucracy. I can tell you that. Yeah. I don't miss having to fill out 50 forms to get some copy paper. That's something I'll never miss.
Well, Matthew, look, it's always fun chatting with you, and I'm sure we'll do it again down the road here in another month or so.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.
You too.
Matthew Schneider, former U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan, former federal prosecutor, currently a partner in the law firm Hannigan. All right. We are going to move into our open phone format, and we're going to do that for the next couple hours. Whatever's on your mind, we'd love to chat with you. 989-752-6111. Toll free, 866-790-WSGW. No, forget that one. I don't know why I did that. I do know why. It's ingrained in my brain. The 752-6111 number is the only one you need. I do want to start out offering some thoughts and prayers for someone. You may have heard in the news, but if not, we'll tell you right now. that Representative Dan Kildee has been diagnosed with a serious but curable cancer. They found a small tumor on one of his tonsils. And of course, with the new redistricting, Representative Kildee represents Flint, Saginaw, and Midland. And what happened was he went in for a scan of a swollen lymph node. And that's when they found what's called a squamous cell carcinoma. Serious but curable. It's going to cause him to take a few weeks off. He's going to have surgery to have it removed. Then doctors told him he had to rest up for a couple of weeks before he could go back to work. So I just wanted to take a moment, and I don't care what your politics are. You put aside politics for this type of thing. I've known Representative Kildee for a lot of years. He's always been very, very kind to me, and I enjoy chatting with him. I may not agree with him on everything, and other things I do, because one thing you can say about Dan Kildee is when it comes to Michigan, he's right on board. If it's for the betterment of Michigan, he's for it. You can disagree with him with national issues, that's fine, but he has always been a stalwart supporter of the state of Michigan and the Great Lakes. So I just want to take a minute to offer up my thoughts and prayers for him, and hope that he has successful surgery and a quick recovery and gets back on the job. And we'll look forward to chatting with him in the future. All right. Let's see. Mary is in Bay City and waiting to chat with us. So let us start right there. Mary, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Well, Art, I have a suggestion I'd like to make to people. I'm at the stage of the age bracket that for some reason I encounter people, any topic that I may bring up, they want to offer their how their mother did it this way, how they do it that way. And I'm understanding, wait until I ask you for your advice. Don't just assume because I'm speaking about a topic concerning myself that I'm all on board for your opinion. Because I may not value your opinion on certain topics, but it just seems to be something that goes on, and maybe it's me that's weird. Of course, I'm kind enough to listen, but I walk away not really appreciating it. Well, it could be talking about a cake, or my foot ache, or I had a backache. So I'm going to wait for you to give me your opinion. Am I the one that's too sensitive?
I hear what you're saying because it happens to me too. Here's the thing. I think most people, and I say most, it's a big brush, but most people are genuine when they try and help someone with advice that maybe you don't want. I understand that because I've been on your side very many times. But most people are meaning well when they do that. And I tend to maybe not be quite as sensitive as you are to it. I just say, thank you very much. And then I decide whether it's worth following or listening to or not. That's me, though. Everybody reacts differently. I would tend not to offer advice for someone if they don't ask for it. But others,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and others do, though. Others think they want to be helpful.
Sometimes this solution may be 10, 15, or 20 minutes, and you're sitting there listening because they're so excited and they're so know-it-all, and it's like I don't live in America. Like I was raised on a turnip truck.
Yeah.
And I sit there and I'm thinking, well, that's 20 minutes of my life I'll never be able to get back.
Well, there are ways to kindly stem the tide, so to speak. I always have something in my pocket, not physically, but in a kind of a metaphorical way that I can say, well, I'd love to listen, but unfortunately I have a meeting or I have this or I have to do something. So that I try not to insult them or hurt them, but I try and put an end to the conversation in a way that's a soft landing, so to speak. Because I hear you, because, some people get started. You can't stop them.
Yeah, well, thank you for your input, and you have a wonderful day and a happy Easter. And I'm so sorry to hear about your wife.
Mary, thank you.
And how is Monkey doing?
Monkey is doing fine.
Well, that's
Monkey
wonderful.
runs the house. Nothing's changed for Monkey.
Well, that's good. Well, God bless you. You take care, and you have a wonderful Easter.
I thank you, dear. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back, and we'll get to Carl, who's waiting for us. After many years in several vehicles, I now get to talk about my favorite car dealer because it's where I've bought my cars for years. It's a Ford dealer, McDonald Ford in Freeland, M47 in Freeland. And it's a family dealership run by a father and son, Tom McDonald Jr. and Tom McDonald III. And they really treat you like family when you're there. And Tom Jr. wants you to know that, they're a Ford dealer, but they also carry lots of other brands on their pre-owned lot. Late model Chevys and Cadillacs, Jeeps, Lincolns, and of course Fords, and many others. I'm driving right now a 2022 Ford Ranger with the Tremor package, which is their off-road package. A great vehicle. It's been through their 100-point inspection, so it's trouble-free. But if you do have a problem, not a problem, because they have a wonderful service department. From minor repairs to major repairs, they can handle it all. And then they have the Drive Collision Center if you happen to need body work. They have the Quick Lane Center for quick oil changes and other service. It's all waiting for you right there at McDonald Ford. 6790 Midland Road in Freeland. Great people, and they are devoted to helping and serving you. And they're also a great corporate partner in the community. Recently, they paid off the debt of the Freeland High School library. Paid it off so that the library has no debt. That's what it means to be a good corporate citizen. McDonald Ford in Freeland. Stop in, visit them today.
Come join CMU Health. CMU Health is currently looking to add child adolescent psychiatrists to our Saginaw, Michigan location. To apply, please send your resume to Lisa LLEY in HR Administration, CMU Medical Education Partners, 1000 Houghton Avenue, Saginaw, Michigan, 48602. Come join CMU Health. That address again is 1000 Houghton Avenue, Saginaw, Michigan, 48602. Attention, Lisa Killey, Killey in HR Administration at CMU Medical Education Partners. Liberty Bridge is your gateway to work, school, downtown, and the Midland Street Business District. Enjoy all the benefits of Liberty Bridge for free until April. Save time and fuel by taking the most convenient route to your destination. Avoid congestion at other local bridges and experience Bay City's newest, most reliable bridge. Brought to you by local union workers and Bay City Bridge Partners. For your passport to the lowest rates once tolling begins, it's before April at BayCityBridgePartners.com.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
If you're hiring, It can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person. You can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show and back to our phones. Carl is in Saginaw. Good morning, Carl.
Morning, Art. First off, I just want to say about Pat that finds you in the right place this year, or however. I don't know what the proper salutation in front of Passover is. You know what you're supposed to say.
Happy Passover. It works fine. It's easy.
Okay, fine.
It's simple.
Okay, I did not call to talk about Donald Trump today.
Okay.
I'm hoping we can talk about Pat Johnston. I understand he's no longer with the radio station.
Yep.
Always hear the morning show, so I didn't hear if there was an announcement or something was said. Or can you tell me? Can you tell us?
I will tell you what I can tell you, and I don't know much more than this either. There were staff cutbacks that were dictated by corporate. The media industry, as an industry, and you've probably heard, media companies all over the place laying this off, that off, and we, like every other media company, fell victim to it. And unfortunately, Pat and Denise were the people that saw the end result. Nothing to do with Pat's performance or anything like that, but it's just it's one of those things, and I have to tell you, every one of us in this business understands that we work at the pleasure of the company, and that it's a fragile relationship. Always has been. It's been that way in the media forever. Not just local stations, but companies like ours, which have, I think we have something like 208 stations. Every one of them is feeling this dictate from corporate. So that's really all I can tell you about it, because that's all I know about it.
Okay. It's just, we get to know, a personality like Pat, over the years. I've spoken to him.
Oh, he's a great guy.
I feel like I know him and disappear.
Well,
and it's like,
it's just, unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast, Carl. I miss him too. I miss the banter we had back and forth on topics, and we offered up the different opinions, and that was fun to me. And and as far as Pat and sports go, there's nobody better. I mean, he was phenomenal in that, and I'm sure he'll land on his feet. He's a talented guy, and I wish him well. You know, it's just this business. I've seen it time and time again. I've been at this a long time. I started in 1963, so that's 60 years I've been doing this. I've been through this. I've been through this many, many, many times, and was even a short-term victim of it once. Short-term because they brought me back right away where I worked, but I've seen it happen so often that while you don't like it, it just I've become callous to it. I'm enamored to it now. It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, I've had some other examples in my life where somebody recently, where, you know, like a longtime doctor, which I thought I had a relationship, you know, he just retired.
I had the same thing.
I never got a chance to say, you know, goodbye, or it was nice, you know, knowing you over the last 40 years or anything. He's just gone, and it just.
My previous doctor, from previous to the one I have now, sent out letters to everybody saying, it's been nice. And,
I wish I would have had one last chance just to speak to him.
Yeah.
Or just to wrap things up. I just don't like it when people just disappear.
Listen, I understand that. I fully understand that. I don't like it either. But it does happen.
It happens.
And, just change, the old saying, change is inevitable. And
I know.
Then so be it. All right. I am getting late on a break here, so I got to go.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Thanks, Art.
Take care. Bye-bye now, and we'll be back with more right after these notes.
Time to celebrate. Jesus Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. I'm Pastor Eric Schmidt of Peace Lutheran Ministries, and I want to personally invite you to celebrate Easter with us on Saturday, April 8th at 6:30 p.m. at Peace Lutheran School, 3161 Mondale Road in Saginaw Township, or on Easter Sunday, April 9th at any one of our three services, 6:30, 9:30, or 11:15 a.m. at Peace Lutheran Church, 3427 Adams Avenue in Saginaw. Join us in person or online at peacesaginaw.org. From all of us at Peace, we wish you a very happy.
It's a can't-miss event. Zenders of Frankenmuth's Ragtime Festival, April 19th through the 21st, features music from America's fabulous ragtime era, showcasing flashy piano styles, beautiful melodies, witty songs, poignant blues, and rhythmic boogie-woogie. The 28th annual Zenders Ragtime Festival continues to feature the finest musicians, the best of the best seasoned ragtime performers from across the country, including Michigan's own Bob Milne, considered by many to be the best boogie-woogie pianist in the world, and is an active musical ambassador for the United States. Enjoy lunch and dinner concerts and plenty of fun and highly entertaining music, stories behind the music, and entertainers. Zenders of Frankenmuth's Ragtime Festival, April 19th through the 21st. Seats are going fast. Noon and evening shows are still available, but you better book your ragtime experience today by calling 989-652-0450 or by visiting www.zenders.com/ticketing. Mark your calendars for Our Kids World, Saturday, April 8th at the Fashion Square Mall from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Sponsored by Francis Ray Academy and powered by Sarah Automotive. Free admission, Easter egg hunt, pictures with the Easter Bunny brought to you by the Exchange Clubs of Saginaw, and so much more. Plus, bounce out that energy in the kids zone with bounce houses provided by Bouncing Bellas. If your business would like 9-752-3456. Our Kids World, Saturday, April 8th, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. at Fashion Square Mall. Sponsored by Francis Ray Academy.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Applied Training Solutions. You are going to get half off of a CPL class. It's normally $150. but you're getting this deal for just $75. A CPO class is necessary for anyone looking for the proper certification to apply for a concealed pistol license in the state of Michigan. And you must be 21 or older. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Are you a do-it-yourselfer or a direct-it-yourselfer?
Every weekend, people tell us about overspending on projects they could have handled themselves for lots less money.
And we hear from people who ended up overspending because they tried to do something they should have called in a pro to tackle.
Well, we'll help you sort it out. I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Got a remodeling or a repair project?
We can help you decide whether to do it yourself or direct it yourself this weekend on the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturday mornings at 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here at WSGW. Back to our phones. Robert is in Rose City. Robert, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Enjoy your show when I'm driving.
Thank you.
And, yeah, I appreciate your balanced views on our world. One little thing I wanted to talk about to the lady who called in when people offer advice is she's obviously stating problems. Now, my way of dealing with this as a believer is I let them talk it out, and then I ask them if they want to pray. If, you know, sometimes people just want to talk about sympathy or whatever, but obviously she's talking about problems that people are offering advice. So that's what I do in that situation. Might not work for everybody, but my experience is we have a loving God, and the next time I see that person, it's wonderful to hear, oh, you wouldn't believe what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, an answer.
Let me ask a question. When you do that, Robert, in this day and age, and that's why I'm asking specifically, what percentage agree to it?
Probably 80%.
Oh, that's pretty good. More than I thought.
I'd say even, well, I've had people say, well, I don't believe in God. And I say, I didn't ask you that. I asked you if you wanted prayer. And 3 out of 4 times, those people will say, well, if you think it'll help, it won't hurt, you know. And they'll go ahead and pray. And sometimes they become believers from that simple act. So I view that as always an opportunity to share the truth with people, you know. One other thing about people losing jobs, and then I'll let you go to people who have more to say. There's no such thing as a permanent job.
Yeah, you got that right.
Okay. I was hired by a man many years ago, and the day he hired me, he said, there's no such thing as a permanent job. And later, when I was managing the same type of operation, when I hired somebody, I started every hiring with that same thing. There's no such thing as a permanent job, but when you leave here, I hope it's to a better situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and, you know, expect change in life. It doesn't stay the same.
You know, that's an interesting comment, because a lot of times that's exactly what happens. You find yourself without work and you end up with a better job. It's happened time and time again to people.
Well, so often God directs us that way.
Yep.
You know,
Very good.
You know, something that seems bad points us to a new direction. So, all right, Art, that's
Great.
all I had
Robert,
to say.
appreciate the call. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity. Bye-bye.
You bet. Bye-bye now. Hound Dog is with us up in Ogama. Hound Dog, good morning.
Yeah, the topic's been brought up, so I got to ask. I was going to phrase it different, but I don't need to. Did Pat, I'm assuming, do you want, right?
I'm sorry? Say that again?
I'm assuming you can talk to Pat if you want to, right?
Well, I have his phone number, yeah.
Ask him, I told you to ask him to send you a picture of that 5x7 color glossy photo I sent him. See if he got it.
I will. I haven't talked to him since he left, but I will.
Yeah, it's funny. It's really funny.
All right.
Okay. You take care now.
Thanks, Hound Dog. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Okay.
All right. We're going to take a break, come back and close out this hour of the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back with more open phones next hour.
Don't wait until spring to make your money grow. Right now, you can spring into an 18-month certificate account that will make you 5% APY. Yes, 5% APY. Let your money grow at 5% for 18 months with Capocco Community Credit Union. Start investing it today, and Capocco will help your money grow faster with the best financial support. Short-term certificate accounts available for a limited time. Visit capocco.org for more information or talk to a member service representative today. APY is annual percentage yield. Some restrictions apply. Federally insured by the NCUA.
For almost 25 years, Linex has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Linex have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty. No yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City. Give them a call at 989-671-9820.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up.
The number in Bay City is 989-671-9820. That's 989-671-9820.
EasyCater presents We've Got Your Back, Up Singers.
So right before this important meeting, I get a text from EasyCater that the restaurant lost power.
No electricity.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
She said sarcastically.
But EasyCater was like, don't worry.
No sweat.
They got another restaurant to fill the whole order.
The whole order.
And I was like, are you kidding me? But in a good way.
Inflection is everything.
Problem with your order? EasyCater has your back with over 100,000 restaurants.
EasyCater.
Order 24/7 on
Back.
WSW Online poll for you is about American values with that recent Wall Street Journal NOC survey, comparing responses from 25 years ago, finding when it comes to the questions of patriotism, religion, and raising children, the responses percentage-wise are down compared to 25 years ago. Patriotism, 25 years ago, 70% very important, now 38%. The importance of religion, 62% then, 39% now. And raising children, 59% then, now it's 30%.
Well, those are pretty some significant drops there.
By contrast, having money was the only value that was up from 25 years ago. So the WSW poll question for you, what is your view regarding American values of patriotism, religion, and raising children? You can vote, I think these values are very important. I don't think these values are very important. You can vote, you think that the having money value is more important, or you're not sure. You head to WSW.com, you scroll down the homepage, you will find a poll box, and you can make your vote that way. W.
All right. This first hour is in the can, as we say. Heading to hour number 2, open phones. I'm going to start with a conversation about AM radio and why it's disappearing from your automobile. Talk about that and more, but first the news from CBS. Local report with Michael Percha. Then we'll be back to chat with you.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Matt Piper in New York at the courthouse where Donald Trump will be arraigned today. Across from this courthouse is a park where supporters of the former president are. Red and white flags adorning his name. Red Make America Great Again hats worn too. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is set to lead a protest here this hour. Trent Galloway is here from Atlanta.
Wanted to be here to see, what it drew, what kind of people, what the atmosphere was, and then ultimately probably just in support of Trump in a sense that I really think this is kind of a sham.
With more on the arraignment, here's my colleague Stephen Portnoy.
An arraignment is typically a short, straightforward legal proceeding. It involves a defendant being read the charges against him, then entering a plea before a judge sets conditions for release. But the initial appearance in The People versus Donald Trump will take place amid unprecedented security and with unusual accommodations made for the defendant and for the Secret Service. There'll be no handcuffs for Trump and possibly no mugshot.
Donald Trump himself might not even see these supporters of his, as he's expected to be taken through back doors of this courthouse hours from now. I'm Matt Piper in Lower Manhattan. Now with more CBS News, here's Monica Ricks.
A big ceremony today to celebrate Finland joining NATO. Here's CBS's Holly Williams.
NATO has now expanded even more, which is exactly what Vladimir Putin didn't want. Russia will now share a border with a NATO member state that is more than 800 miles long, while right next door, Sweden is also seeking to join the alliance.
President Biden also welcomed Finland today in a statement saying, "Today we are more united than ever." Former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan's former chief of staff, Roy McGrath, is dead following a 3-week manhunt. CBS's Scott McFarland.
In a statement, McGrath's attorney called it a tragic ending and said McGrath never wavered about his innocence. Hogan issued a statement saying, in part, "We are praying for Mr. McGrath's family and loved ones."
In Chicago, voters are picking their next mayor. In Chicago's runoff election, former Chicago Public Schools CEO Paul Vallis and Cook County have been busy doing some last-minute campaigning. Vallis stressing public safety.
That's ultimately going to be my legacy as mayor.
Johnson says he's done a lot of community work in his current position.
The city of Chicago wants a leader that can bring people together.
That's CBS's Jennifer Kuiper reporting. If you've watched The Last of Us, you may want to stay away from Nevada. The CDC just identified a lethal drug-resistant fungus there that's becoming a major risk for hospital and nursing home patients. This is CBS News.
Streamline how you hire with Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. And Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. A partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack. Of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Light skies and 41 degrees at 10:05.
I'm Mike Perchuk. A Midland County man has pleaded guilty to assault after trying to strangle his mother in February. 41-year-old Justin Schneider of Hope Township pleaded guilty to assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder, after an incident February 11th. Police say Schneider attacked his 64-year-old mother following an argument. Charges of domestic violence were dismissed. Schneider's case in June. A state police helicopter captured an alleged kidnapping attempt and helped with the arrest of a suspect. Michigan State Police say on Friday morning, aviation troopers saw a man exit a vehicle and approach a female before pulling out a handgun and shooting in the air. Troopers on the ground arrived on the scene, and police say the man discarded the weapon and tried running away. Soon after, he was taken into custody. The firearm was recovered, according to police. We'll have adjusted hours to several offices and services in observance of Good Friday and Easter. All City of Midland offices, collection services, and the Grace A. Dow Memorial Library will be closed on Friday. The Midland Civic Arena will be closed Sunday. Jack Barstow Municipal Airport will be unattended both Friday and Sunday. Transportation or dial-a-ride services will observe normal operating hours on Friday through Sunday. The city's sanitary landfill will be open from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Friday. People should place their items at the curb next Monday, no later than 7:30 a.m. to ensure those items will be picked up. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Are you ready for a new vehicle? Let us help you finance your dreams at United Financial Credit Union. We've made the car shopping process even easier. Research and compare vehicles, receive free car and insurance quote, and view local dealer inventory, all from the comfort of your own home with the auto shopping feature on our website. Simply visit our website today to start shopping for your next vehicle. If you've already found your perfect vehicle, contact us today to get your auto loan started. We can help you get on the road in your new car. And for a limited time, you can enjoy 90 days with no payments.
Some restrictions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union. Serving the Valley community.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Sparrow Health System is now officially part of University of Michigan Health. Sparrow and U of M received the necessary regulatory approval after announcing the plans in December. With the addition of Sparrow, U of M now oversees more than 200 care sites across the state and has grown into a $7 billion organization. University of Michigan Health has committed $800 million in investment to Sparrow, which will be funded through hospital operations and investments over the next 8 years. Can Michigan expect a large insect population this year? Coming off a mild winter, conditions are ripe for more bugs to attack crops. Chris DeFonso, field crops entomologist at Michigan State University, says it's not that easy to predict. With warmer weather, those insects may have been more active.
Some insects could use up all that fat store and come out without a lot left. So that could actually increase mortality in some cases.
Chances are we'll see a few unusually large insect populations. We could see certain types of bugs like mosquitoes migrate more friendly Michigan environments. A young moose in the Upper Peninsula is safe after DNR conservation officers helped rescue it over the weekend. The officers and a wildlife biologist were called out to a young bull moose in need of assistance in Marquette County. It was near a road and struggling to get around large amounts of snow. They were able to help guide the moose down a 2-track trail and away from heavy snow until it was able to go off on its own. DNR officials are reminding the public not to approach or touch a moose. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. Ed Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see cloudy skies here for today with a high around 50 degrees. Winds out of the northeast around 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20. And then for tonight, a chance for showers and thunderstorms, cloudy skies. Temperatures fall early, then slowly rise overnight. Wednesday, chance for showers and storms, cloudy, high around 73 degrees. Then for your day on Thursday, mostly sunny and breezy, a high of 48. Friday, plenty of blue skies and sun, another high of 48 degrees. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 55. I'm meteorologist Cheatski with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 43.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, I'm here. In the middle of doing something and lost track of time. Good morning to you. Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Nice to have you with us on this Tuesday in April. Wow, 4th day of April already. Open phones from now till 11:30. Love to have you on. Give us a call. Tell us what you're thinking about. I mentioned at the end of last hour that I want to talk about car radios for a minute. There have been some announcements that automakers, some of them, are going to remove AM radios from their cars. And there's even speculation that at some point in time, FM radios may go by the wayside, and you may have to pay for adding them as an accessory to your car. There is a movement now from the National Association of Broadcasters to promote AM radio. I can understand it from a technical standpoint in EVs, because AM radio is susceptible to motor noise. And it takes an awful lot of suppression to keep the motor noise out of AM radio, which would be a bit of a challenge in an EV. But it's doable. What's happened, I mean, there's always been a disconnect between the radio industry and car companies. They kind of looked at it as, well, we have to put it in because our buyers want them. But it was always with a certain amount of disdain that automakers put radios in cars. And now they've moved to the Apple Play and Android car formats and are beginning to rethink radios in automobiles. Personally and professionally, I don't like it. I like car radios. I like having the choice of AM or FM when I travel and when I'm home. And just to give you an example, today is a perfect example. We have 2 sporting events today, the Red Wings and the Tigers. And they were going to be on at the same time. So if you were in your car during the time that Tigers are playing and you wanted to hear them, you'd have to listen on the AM side. And if you want to hear the Red Wings, you'd have to listen on the FM side. But you have the choice. Now, I don't know down the road if manufacturers tried to sell radios as an accessory what that would be like. I think most people would probably buy it. But we've had a love affair with the car, including its radio, for decades. But technology has come along, the digital age, offering all kinds of other opportunities, including, by the way, satellite radio. And by the way, I'm a heretic because I have a satellite radio in my car. And when I travel, if I'm in an area where I don't know radio stations or can't find one I want to listen to, I will turn on Sirius. It's kind of neat in a way because I could leave Saginaw, and let's say I wanted to listen to 60s music. I could turn that channel on. From the time I left my house till the time I got to Reading, Pennsylvania, say 640 miles away, I'd never have to touch my radio. So I understand the advantages, and I'm not here to pan or bash any format. There's room for all of us. But most of my life in the car is spent with my radio. AM, FM, depends what I want to listen to, where I am. And I think most people are like that. So I think the auto industry ought to rethink some of this. It's going to be interesting to see if any pressure can be brought to bear on the auto industry. Now, some car makers have said they are not going to remove their radios. Hyundai and a couple of foreign marks say, no, they're not removing them at all. Others, some of them have already taken out AM radios. So time will tell. But as far as I'm concerned, if there's a vehicle that does not have a radio, it's not going to be a vehicle I buy. Just thought I'd selfishly mention that this morning. What can I tell you? I just, I shake my head sometimes at what's happening in the world. You know, when you grew up like I did in an age where we first moved to digital with the little old transistor. How many of you had a transistor radio, a little pocket radio, you know, a little plastic box, set it in your pocket. Maybe it had an antenna on it. And those were the days. And the transistor allowed that. I've often been asked, you know, you get questions like, what's the greatest invention of all time? I've heard all kinds of answers, but my answer is always the transistor. Because from the transistor, we ended up with the chip, which is nothing more than thousands of transistors on a little mica plate. And that has changed the world, has it not? Think of this. The smartphone that you carry in your pocket has more computing power than the computers used to land on the moon. That's right. There's that much computing power in that little smartphone. Or your laptop computer, which is, you know, thousands of times more powerful than some of the early days computers. We've come a long way, no doubt about it. There's been progress in electronics and technology. In many cases, have made our lives better. I understand that, and I understand progress. But I don't like progress at the cost of legacy, if that makes sense. So I just thought I'd bring it up and mention it this morning. Take a break, come back. We'll get to Earl when we return here on the Art Lewis Show.
Service. It's hard to find these days. Well, the folks at M&R Garage Door have built their business on it. In fact, it's fair to say that service is their specialty. M&R Garage Door has earned the right to say that by taking care of their customers in the Tri-Cities for over 50 years. M&R can repair any brand garage door or opener and industrial doors. Call M&R Garage Door for all of your service needs. M&R has garage doors and openers for every style and every budget. Call M&R Garage Door at 894-0971. 894-0971 for all of your garage door and opener needs. Remember, at M&R Garage Door, service is our specialty.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at Uma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey. We're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks open narrowly mixed. Crude oil prices are gaining again after production cuts were announced and other producers this week. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon says the banking crisis isn't over yet, with repercussions for years to come. But he says it's nothing like the 2008 financial crisis. Ford just reported a 10% increase in its first quarter auto sales. Ford says it was helped by pent-up demand and easing supply chain disruptions. AMC Entertainment shares are down 13%. The movie theater chain has reached a settlement that will allow it to go ahead with converting its AMC preferred shares into common stock. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
EasyCater presents We've Got Your Back, Up Singers.
Backup singers.
So right before this indicator that the restaurant lost power.
No electricity.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
She said sarcastically.
But EasyCater was like, don't worry.
No sweat.
They got another restaurant to fill the whole order.
The whole order.
And I was like, are you kidding me? But in a good way.
Inflection is everything.
Problem with your order? EasyCater has your back with over 100,000 restaurants.
EasyCater.
Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.
We got your back.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. And you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 90 News Radio, WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show for this Tuesday, April 4th. And let's talk to Errol in Saginaw. Morning, Errol.
Good morning. Are you starting to feel like the lonely Maytag repairman?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. All right. You're talking about AM and FM radios. What they've never taken care of is they ought to reduce, you ought to not be able to sit one block away and hear the next car. I wish there was a way to make those radios so they couldn't do that.
Control the volume level?
Yeah, you cannot turn your radio into a boombox.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I just heard one yesterday, and it was annoying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, traveling down the expressway, and the one next to you is about rocking the windows right out of their vehicle.
Yeah.
For some reason, they come up with the ideas that are, they don't solve the problem of the general public that has to travel alongside of them all the time.
Right.
And instead of some of the junk that they put on vehicles, someone should have taken a look at that, but, oh, well, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Unless we go deaf.
All right.
So take her easy.
Yep, you too. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Let me take a moment here to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks presented by Westside Decorating Center. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering this baseball word online at WSGW.com. The word this hour is Rockies, Rockies, as in the Colorado Rockies. Alpha Media company-wide contest must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks presented by Westside Decorating Center on WSGW. All right, let's talk to Susan in Bay City. Susan, good morning to you.
We had a young guy on there, and he was talking and referring to TikTok. And I kind of listened, but didn't put a whole ear to it because, I'm not one too much on social media, and I really haven't listened to TikTok.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, well, and so this morning, when I had looking through all my newsletters and all the stuff that I get, I have a government website that was basically they debate things, and they were talking about a new bill that was introduced on March 7th called Bill 686, and it's the Restrict Act, and it said on there, whenever the government says they're going to make you safer, you better shut up and listen. And what it is it's an excuse to criminalize American-run websites and blogs. And the bill states that the government may enforce against any person or any property by merely deciding that they don't agree with the platform. And this goes for podcasts, videos, articles, anything they disagree with, they have the right to pull the plug on it. And to me, that's another
Big Brother.
Our freedom. Exactly. So I don't know what we need to do, really. And they're saying it's against the communist Chinese and TikTok, but it's not. This is aimed at the American platform.
Here's what they do. They go after something we think they should go after. But included in it, they bury all this other stuff, which gives them more authority and more power against us. And we need to be diligent about that. It's one thing to say we want to get rid of TikTok because we think that the Chinese are using it for data mining and all of that. But it's another thing to say, by the way, we're going to get rid of TikTok, but we're also going to take a look at everybody else if we don't like you.
That's right.
And that's what they do. They bury it in the bill. And I agree with you. We have to be diligent about these things. what can you do? Write
Well,
your
the part of it
congressman,
is-
let them know how you feel.
Yes, absolutely. The thing is when something comes up and you have a chance to vote on something or you don't understand it, 10 to 1, you're not supposed to understand it. And it just goes back to everything they've ever told us, how somewhere down the line, it seems like the money for the schools from the lottery. Yes, a portion of it goes there, but everybody was led to believe all this lottery money was going to go to the schools and we were going to get cut taxes. And I just use that as at the top of my head. But
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, and I'm going to correct you on this one thing, Susan. That was the impression when the lottery first came about back in the 70s. Bob Traxler was involved in that.
Yes.
There were assumptions made that were never enunciated, that 100% of the lottery money was going to go to schools. It was never the case, but there were stories about it, and people began to believe that that's what it was. It was a false. It was a false belief. It was a false belief.
Kind of like how they've been persecuting Donald Trump, where they just keep the stories going and then people believe it.
Well, there's some of that, yeah. And but the fact is now that 100% of the lottery profits do go to the schools, because that was put into law a number of years ago. So it has finally come to pass that what we thought it was going to do is doing it.
How come our taxes don't get cut then? Because I'm telling you.
Well, for a whole bunch of other reasons.
Dissect it.
Yeah, for a whole bunch of other reasons. And besides, the lottery only provides about 4 or 5% of funding for schools. It's not the panacea.
Yeah.
It's not the panacea.
Well, just imagine that what the interest that there is.
Yep.
So well, thank you. But that was my. And that gentleman was absolutely right that they should never be able to ban anything, because you know what? If we feel that that's the case, we just have the opportunity to turn that off.
Well, I say this often, particularly when it comes to free speech. If I deny you the right to your free speech, then I am also denying my right to free speech. It's either a right for everyone or it's a right for no one.
That's what America is about.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely.
And if the minute everything starts to slant to be one-sided, then we are losing America.
Yeah, it's also about tolerance. I've said this many, many times.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
in order to have free speech, you must be tolerant of those you disagree with, no matter how much you disagree with them.
I try to listen to, because there's a lot of times that opinion has swayed me. There was so many things that I looked into or whatever, and then, there was other people that had other opinions, and then I looked into it and read the bill or whatever, and it was totally, and I changed my mind. I mean, I never feel that anybody that can't do that refuses to grow.
Yep, absolutely. Very good.
Well, thank you for your time.
Anytime. Thanks, Susan. Bye-bye now. A 401k can be an important asset for many American retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years and even decades. Its tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs, but its flexibility can also be costly to you if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers, the little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or by visiting GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your local individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
For almost 25 years, Line-X has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust proofing and undercoat?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Line-X have the only wax-based rust proofing and military spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty. No yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust proof SUV and protect it year-round.
Line-X is located on Wilder Road in Bay City. Give them a call at 989-671-9820.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820. That's 989-671-9820.
Dazzling decal on Daisy's Donuts window. Bold banner at Barry's Barbershop. Prompts on Park Place.
This is your sign. Well, signs. To try Staples and see the difference. Get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more.
From Staples, and I couldn't miss it.
Ends 4/15. Visit staplesconnect.com/printbig for details.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
From Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift the Eras Tour, presented by Capital One. Oh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
WSW Online poll for you is about American values with that recent Wall Street Journal NOC survey. Comparing responses from 25 years ago, it comes to the questions of patriotism, religion, and raising children. The responses, percentage-wise, are down compared to 25 years ago. Patriotism, 25 years ago, 70% very important, now 38%. The importance of religion, 62% then, 39% now. And raising children, 59% then, now it's 30%.
Well, those are pretty some significant drop.
Best, having money was the only value that was up from 25 years ago. So the WSW poll question for you, what is your view regarding American values of patriotism, religion, and raising children? You can vote, I think these values are very important. I don't think these values are very important. You can vote, you think that the having money value is more important, or you're not sure. You head to WSW.com, you scroll down the homepage, you will find a poll box, and you can make your vote that way with WSGW.
You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, back with you here at WSGW and back to our phones. Mark is in Bay City. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
Great.
Hey, with the changing of the guards there, how long is it going to be before they have an AI Art Lewis show?
You know, I'll tell you what, it's funny you mention that because there is a lot of discussion in the industry about AI and what it's going to do in the future and how it's going to be used in the industry. There's no conclusions, there's no answers, but there's a lot of discussion. It's funny because
Can you copyright your voice so that they can't use it?
No, the company owns my voice. I mean, working for the company, they own my voice, so they can do what they want with it.
Sure.
But
Hey,
I don't.
say knock-
Let's put it this way: it is not beyond imagination that someday there will be some stations operating under AI. But I don't think I don't think it's going to be universal across the board for quite a long time. I won't be here to see it. Let's put it that way.
We'll see.
You never know.
Right. If I were to say knock knock, you would say,
Who's there?
and I would say, Buttigieg is not there. There was another train derailment in North Carolina. There was a train derailment in North Dakota a couple days ago. But in the last couple months, that's a lot of train derailments, or is it just being in the news? Am I missing something, or is there a...
You're missing something.
You like trains.
You're missing something. The Palestine train wreck brought it to the forefront because it was a disaster that released all kinds of chemicals. There are hundreds of train wrecks all the time. It's the nature of the beast. And it's not realistic to think the transportation secretary is going to fly out to each and every train wreck every time it happens. Now, the one in East Palestine, he should have been there a lot earlier than he was. If nothing more than just to comfort the people there and acknowledge the fact that the federal government was going to step in and do whatever they could. But no, there's train wrecks all over the place.
Right. And with that hazardous train wreck that they caught or that they set on fire, the residual from that smoke got homes and underneath soffits and all that.
Yeah.
So I would say when the rain starts to come, that's when you would start testing your groundwater, when that all washes off your roofs and sidings and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think right now would be you're going to get probably a negative since it went up in the air, nothing, no problem in the soil. But give it a few rainfalls and let that work into the soil and leach in there.
I suspect they'll test after that. I suspect they'll test after that anyway. I think they're going to do a lot of testing, continue testing there to make sure. But there was it's a systemic problem in the rail industry, probably for a lot of reasons. Most of them financial. When you don't. Let's face it, you're dealing with a man-made industry, and nothing is perfect. And particularly rails that are subject to heat and cold and expansion and cracking. Now, they check them pretty regularly. They run inspection cars over them looking for flaws and fixing flaws. But you can't find everyone. The system to report hot boxes to the engineer needs to be looked at because that train in East Palestine, it was a hot box problem. And by the time the engineer found out, it was way too late.
And you don't think anything with the union strike that they had 6 months ago, overpay and sick time had anything to do with any of these? No?
No,
okay.
Not a thing. Not a thing. Not a thing.
Fair enough.
The railroads have been, first of all, they're historically union, and at least the majors, the Class 1 carriers. And why would you sabotage the very industry that's feeding you? Because when you sabotage it and shut it down, you're not making any money either.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, all right.
Alrighty, my friend.
Hey,
Take
good
care.
enough, Mark. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.
I do think, though, that rail safety, I think rails in this country need more attention than they're getting. You look at other countries of the world, the railroad industry, particularly passenger transportation, is the backbone of their system. Here, it's an afterthought. I know Congress has allocated more money for rail safety, but it's a drop in the bucket. And it's one of those pay me now or pay me later things Unfortunately, we weren't paying the nows, and now the later is upon us. Same thing with infrastructure in the country. I mean, it's part of infrastructure, isn't it? But you think of the infrastructure of this country. It's been let go, and, to fix it all, it's prohibitive. We just don't have the money. No way to fix everything. So you nitpick at it a little bit at a time. It's one of the great, I think, failings is we built and built and built, but we don't maintain. I have said that for a long time about Michigan roads. Back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, when we could have taken care of the roads and fixed them then and continued maintenance on them, instead we were diverting all that transportation money to building new roads, some of which you have to question whether we really need it or not, or whether it was a political expediency to build in somebody's district. And instead of taking that money and putting into maintenance, resurfacing and rebuilding, we built new roads. Let the old ones go to heck in a handbag. Didn't make any sense. Not to me, anyway. All right, back with you. We'll get to Jeff when we return.
Would you consider that the greatest act of love in the history of the whole world was that Friday when Christ Jesus was so horribly executed by crucifixion, died for each and every one of us, and despite all our very real problems, his cross brings us a wondrous peace, eternal life. What's that worth? Real hope, joy, a solid foundation that your life's biggest problems could never destroy, and so importantly, empowering love to help us fix this hurting world. All God's gifts for you from the cross. I'm Pastor Bert Eggers, and you're to invite you this Friday, Good Friday, to be our guest at 1 p.m. at the Horizon Center on State Street in Saginaw. Come as you are. Experience his amazing grace flowing from the cross for you. Pastor Dave Davis will speak. There'll be special music and ASL provided for the hearing impaired. You're so welcome this Friday, 1 p.m., the Horizon Center, State Street, Saginaw.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babette.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes. Quick and easy. And soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers. Each lesson is like living in another country for 15 minutes.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast, or games, or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was starting to speak in another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Rock.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Applied Training Solutions. You are going to get half off of a CPL class. It's normally $150, but you're getting this deal for just $75. A CPL class is necessary for anyone looking for the proper certification to apply for a concealed pistol license in the state of Michigan. And you must be 21 or older. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Sean Hannity, weekdays at 3 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, and Jeff is in Bay City, so we'll say good morning to Jeff this morning.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
Just calling to vent. It's just so tiring hearing how we don't have money for our own roads and all the different things, but yet back in December they sent $1.7 trillion. And where did the majority of that money go? Other countries.
Yep.
So obviously we have the money, and instead of investing in ourselves, we're working twice, 3 times, 4 times harder so that we can carry everything else. And then, like you say, our stuff deteriorates from roads to train tracks, protection for our kids in school, kids going to school. We have more than enough money and funds to take care of ourselves and raise our country and make our country such a better place. But instead, they're talking about gender research and guys wanting to dress like girls and girls wanting to pretend they're boys. And, we don't know what a woman is and we don't know, what a boy is and all this nonsense.
The bigger one, too. Who was it in Congress? Refused to admit that men can't have babies.
Right.
Only women can have babies.
And the lady
refused to admit it.
The justice to the court, who was a woman, and she couldn't tell what a woman was. Come on.
Yeah.
You're either born Y chromosome or X chromosome, and right from there, the rest is just, that's what it is. Doesn't matter if you cut your unit off, it doesn't make you a girl, you're still a boy. And if you're a girl and you had some type of surgery, you're still going to be a girl. At the end of the day, they're going to be which man, which are you? And it makes a difference. You're either going to have a menstrual cycle or you're not. But that's a whole nother topic. But the funds, our funds are there. We should be able to fix our roads. We should be able to fix our train tracks. We should have good airports. We should have security in our kids' schools instead of having something terrible happen and say, oh, we need more gun control. So with the strictest gun laws and the rules, but nobody's following the punishment.
It's not enforced.
If you take a gun and try to rob a liquor store, I'm sorry, you should get the death penalty because you threatened somebody with the gun. You committed a crime with the gun. Start bringing back public hanging. This is what's going to happen. You get caught shoplifting, first offense, you cut finger off. Second offense, we'll cut 3 fingers off.
Well,
fourth offense, you cut your whole hand off.
That's not America, though. You know that, and I know that. That's not America.
Unfortunately, where we're at, we have to go back to what worked. Obviously, letting somebody rape somebody and letting them out of jail the next day, and then they rape 5 more people
doesn't work
before they get to court, that is not working.
No doubt about it.
We need to go back to what really worked. I remember growing up, I got spanked, and it worked. Now, the ones that don't get spanked, there's no repercussion for their actions. It's just like, oh, I can do this. I can get away with it. Oh, somebody's going to pay me to sit home. Oh,
well,
look, I'm going to expect a check in the mail.
It's symbolic of society today. And I've said this before. So you get yourself in trouble with credit card debt. Oh, don't worry. We'll get you out of it. We'll get rid of half your debt. Heck, you got a student loan. We'll forgive that. Forget it. We're not teaching responsibility.
It's like the adults left the building, and it's like, oh, please put the adults back in charge, because you can't run it as if you're a little kid going into the candy store and you can just take anything you want off the shelf.
Yeah.
We got to start being responsible or the next generation. Teach them what's right and what's wrong. Instead of sending $1.7 trillion around the world, maybe we should have kept $1 trillion here and then sent this $0.7 trillion, around the world to help other people. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's take care of our own stuff. Yeah. Let's fix our roads instead of saying, oh, we don't have no money. Bay City sold 2 bridges, claiming that all the money in the city went to fixing those 2 bridges, so they leased them out, so we have to pay to cross them now. Yeah. And I bet you 3-4 years from now, our roads are still going to be screwed up in Bay City because they'll spend the money in another way that makes absolutely no sense. And it's just...
Well, it's priorities, and that's always been government's issue, priorities, where they spend money and how they spend money.
Yeah.
It's always been. But you know what? You know what?
Yeah.
A lot of it's our own fault because we're apathetic. We don't care.
Yeah.
People don't care. They don't vote. Local elections where you have the most say get the least turnout. Why is that?
It doesn't make sense. It's
not at all.
Being a responsible adult, you get tied up in work too much to make sure you cover ends meet and cover your bills and trying to be responsible, and you'd like to take a vacation and you'd try to do this or that and you work so hard to do it. And the one, like you said, it's a one-day deal. You show up to vote, but people don't because they're just too tied up in day-to-day work.
Or they don't care.
And it doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it, that it's okay.
Right.
It's the saddest part.
The other attitude is somebody else will pay for it. No, eventually you're going to pay for it.
Our my vote don't count.
My vote don't count. It's the other one, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, all right.
Well, Jeff, I appreciate the call, friend. Have a good day. Thank you. Happy Easter to you too. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. We thank you for joining us. We'll be back to close out right after these notes.
Hi, this is Jessica. Have you given your child the opportunity to get a healthy financial start? By opening a U13 account at United Financial, your child can start learning the benefits of saving right now. We offer a variety of perks for our young members too. A special 6-month certificate of deposit, additional rewards for saving, and for good grades. Hey teens, did you know we have an account just for you? Open your first checking account and debit card at the credit union, and we will also share important tips on how to best manage your new account. Visit our website for details and see just how easy it is to open your new account with United Financial Credit Union.
Federally insured by the NCUA.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union. Serving the Valley community.
We are all anxiously awaiting the approach of spring. Longer, warmer days, trees budding, perennial flowers blooming, and the return of our state bird, the robin. What we're not looking forward to is rain, flooding, thunderstorms, and of course, power outages. Oh no! No one wants to be caught off guard with a sump pump problem during a heavy downpour. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning can help you plan ahead to avoid a flooded basement. They sell and install primary electric pumps as well as water and battery-powered backup pumps. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning can also bring you back to normal from a wet basement with maintenance or replacement of a flooded water heater, furnace, or boiler. Trust the experts with your plumbing and heating mechanical needs in your home. You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, 989-792-8738, or find them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
The Art Lewis Show, weekday mornings at 9 on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, that's going to do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll be back with lots more. And stick around for Focus. But on Focus today, we're actually going to have a continuation of the Art Lewis Show. So we'll have open phones right up till about 11:25, 11:28, thereabouts. So you can still have an opportunity to call in if you haven't made it on the show today. We'll talk to you right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Matt Piper at the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, where former President Trump will be indicted. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene was just here. She addressed the crowd for a little bit, and there are now hundreds and hundreds of supporters of the president here.
What they're doing in whatever kind of witch hunt they have to prevent him from running for president again.
Some against him.
To watch him be booked, it's pretty sweet. I wanted to be here for it.
I'm Matt Piper in New York. Now with more CBS News, here's Steve Kathan.
Well, former President Trump will soon be booked ahead of his historic arraignment that includes fingerprinting, but no mugshot or handcuffs. Legal analyst Jessica Levinson says the court proceeding should be brief.
I bet we hear a not guilty plea, and that's about it. I mean, the big kind of reveal today is we'll hear the charges. We think and expect there will be that charge of falsification of business records, but what is that hooked to bring them to a felony?
Overseas now. Finland's national anthem is played at ceremonies to welcome the country into NATO. The alliance now has 31 members. CBS's Holly Williams.
NATO's expanding membership has been a bone of contention with Russia for many years now. In fact, in the lead up to Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, he complained about NATO expansion in Europe as more and more countries have sought membership, particularly after the collapse of the Soviet Union.
The World Health Organization says today 1 in 6 people worldwide is affected by infertility.
I'm Vicki Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. And in more than a decade, the WHO says more than 17% of the global population is experiencing some form of infertility, with similar rates across continents. It wants to see more resources put into diagnosis, prevention, and affordable treatments.
Tens of millions of dollars were spent on a race that will be decided today in Wisconsin. CBS's Jim Krasula says it's for a seat on the state's Supreme Court.
Abortion access is at stake in today's Wisconsin Supreme Court election, and the most expensive judicial race in American history. The future of Republican-drawn legislative maps, voting rights, and years of other Republican policies are also hanging.
It won its 5th men's college basketball championship last night with a 76-59 win over San Diego State. This UConn student says it was quite a run.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. I love the experience because my senior year, I got to experience it, so it means a lot.
Ratings for Sunday's women's title game were up 103% over last year. Wall Street, right now the Dow is down 170. This is CBS News.
Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com, STIHLUSA.com.
It's a can. There's a Frankenmuth Ragtime Festival, April 19th through the 21st. Features music from America's fabulous ragtime era, showcasing flashy piano styles, beautiful melodies, witty songs, poignant blues, and rhythmic boogie-woogie. The 28th annual Zenders Ragtime Festival continues to feature the finest musicians, the best of the best seasoned ragtime performers from across the country, including Michigan's own Bob Milne, considered by many to be the best boogie-woogie pianist in the world, and is an active musical ambassador for the United States. Enjoy lunch and dinner concerts, and plenty of fun and highly entertaining music, stories behind the music, and camaraderie among the entertainers. Zender Festival, April 19th through the 21st. Seats are going fast. Noon and evening shows are still available, but you better book your ragtime experience today by calling 989-652-0450 or by visiting www.zenders.com/ticketing.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a... Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 43 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Perchuk. During the Saginaw City Council meeting last night, Michigan State Police Captain Greg Marenko responded to recent charges against several state police troopers for use of excessive force. WSGW's Lilac Esch has the story.
Council members asked Marenko about the history of Arrowwood, an officer charged and placed on leave in March. Complaints were filed against the officer within the state police, and an investigation took place.
All of our uses and our review process identified that. We started the investigation. We put him on leave. We submitted the investigation to the prosecutor that ultimately led to charges. So you won't hear excuses from me. You won't hear them from anybody that I work with.
Marenko does not know the full history of the complaints filed against Arrowwood. Until Arrowwood's case is resolved, he will remain on unpaid leave. The other officers with alleged use of excessive force are currently under investigation.
A suspect was arrested in Flint last Friday for attempting to kidnap a woman. Police say the suspect exited the vehicle and approached the woman, producing a handgun and firing it into the air. State police troopers in a helicopter witnessed the alleged incident and directed troopers on the ground to the area. Police say the man discarded the weapon and attempted to flee the scene, but was arrested a short time later. The suspect is awaiting arraignment. Residents of Bay County will have the opportunity to learn about the area's flood risks. FEMA will host an informational open house April 17th at Bay City Hall from 5 to 7 p.m. You can come to meet with FEMA representatives one-on-one to view their addresses on the area's updated flood insurance rates map and get information on flood risk, insurance, and floodplain regulations. Preliminary maps and information can be found at fema.gov/preliminary flood hazard data. WSGW News Time 11:07.
Liberty Bridge is your gateway to work, school, downtown, and the Midland Street Business District. Enjoy all the benefits of Liberty Bridge for free until April. Save time and fuel by taking the most convenient route to your destination. Avoid congestion at other local bridges and experience Bay City's newest, most reliable bridge. Brought to you by local union workers and Bay City Bridge Partners. For your passport to the lowest rates once tolling begins, get your BC Pass before April at BayCityBridgePartners.com.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Paychecks and how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
WSGW News Time 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. The court may decide what will happen as the University of Michigan seeks to get striking graduate workers back to work. Representatives of the graduate employee organization AFT-MI Local 3550 will appear in court this morning to respond to the university's efforts for striking graduate workers back on the job. They've been on strike since last Wednesday. They say they're striking for a living wage and safety and dignity in the workplace. The university's Board of Regents argues the strike in the middle of the semester is jeopardizing a student's ability to take finals and graduate. It also argues the union has breached its contract, which prohibits striking, and that the strike is illegal. Car makers are closing the books on a pretty solid first quarter, according to Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert.
Most brands posted gains. GM up 18%, along with Hyundai, Kia, Honda, and Nissan. Stellantis dipped 9%. Toyota was down about the same. Auto Trader's Michelle Krebs says it appears to be a better quarter than most expected, helped a lot by fleet sales.
We've seen every month double-digit increases in fleet sales over a year ago. So that's kind of buoying overall sales, while customer demand is not quite as strong.
That demand hurt somewhat, Krebs says, by rising vehicle prices and rising interest rates.
Warning to travelers to remove guns from their luggage before trying to get on a plane. The TSA says 4 loaded guns last week at Detroit Metro Airport, and a fifth gun was confiscated after a man gave the TSA agent a gun before going into the body scanner. Agents have already found 28 guns at checkpoints this year. Last year, 100 guns were found. Fines for having a gun at the airport could run as high as $15,000. The TSA determines the penalties for violations based on the circumstance. WSGW News Time, 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see cloudy skies here for today with a high around winds out of the northeast around 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20. And then for tonight, storms, cloudy skies, temperatures fall early, then slowly rise overnight. Wednesday, chance for showers and storms, cloudy, high around 73 degrees. Then for your day on Thursday, mostly sunny and breezy, a high of 48. Friday, plenty of blue skies and sun, another high of 48 degrees. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 55. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 45.
Now, it's time to focus. He presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
Yes, indeed. Focus brought to you by RoofMax, the safe, affordable, easy alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. You can find out about RoofMax online at getroofmax.com, RoofMax with 2 X's, or you can call Ben at 989-859-6751. RoofMax. Open phones for the remainder of the program down to about 11:25, 11:26, somewhere down there. 989-752-6111, kind of an extension of the Art Lewis Show this morning. Well, this is going to be a circus day in New York City. And the former president, Donald Trump, will surrender in New York, in Manhattan, and face arraignment on the charges being brought forward. I have to tell you, I will not be watching. I will not waste my time with this political circus. I'm sure that there's going to be millions and millions and millions of people glued to their television sets to see the former president hauled before a judge. Sorry, folks. Doesn't do anything for me. Because I think, well, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know all the legalese here, but there's a lot of questions about this case. Not the least of which is a statute of limitations. Did it run out for these charges? Many experts, legal experts, are saying yes. You know the defense will move to dismiss immediately. One of the first things they'll do after the plea is given, the defense will move to dismiss the charges. If, indeed, for example, the statute of limitations is run out on this judge, whoever it is, looks at it, it's very possible this could be over before it starts. I don't think it's going to happen, but the defense will certainly move for dismissal on a number of grounds. But can you just imagine, after all this circus, if the judge simply raises his gavel, says case dismissed, boom, It's over before it starts. Wow. What's the political fallout either way? I don't know. Right now, the political fallout favors Donald Trump, believe it or not. The eventual trial, what have you, has brought people, his supporters, to a position of support. Even people on the fence have said this is unfair. Listen. First, I do believe in the concept that no one's above the law, including a former president. If he broke the law, in this case, I think that's a stretch, but if he broke the law, he deserves a trial, like everyone else, to have his guilt proven. Notice how I said that. Unlike Nancy Pelosi, who seems not to understand the Constitution of the United States, in this country, in our legal system, you are innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around. And what did she say the other day? Well, Donald Trump can prove his innocence. No, that's not his responsibility. It's the responsibility of the district attorney to prove his guilt. That was a dumb thing for her to say. And it just points out how it's politicized. Things are so political that we can change the rules for our political expediency. If it's politically expedient, you have to prove your innocence. We don't have to prove your guilt. You're guilty because we say so. Politics has become extremely dirty in this country. And I'm not talking about one side. Both sides play the game. It's unfortunate. But also understand, we're not the victims here. In many ways, we're the perpetrators because we allow it to happen. We respond to it. Negative political advertising, for example, is there for a reason. It works. Somebody's responding to it. They get, they get results. They get what they want. You think it's going to go away? Of course not. As long as we respond to it, it's going to continue. Not a question in my mind. Political advertising, those obnoxious robocalls you get from politicians who are exempt from all the rules, it's not going to go away. There are enough people to respond to it to make it worthwhile. Consequently, they keep doing it. When I gave the toast to the office of the president at the Saginaw Club this year, I talked about a little bit about free speech and political speech and all of those things. And I talked about journalism, talked about the change in the way we get news and how it's impacted us. And I talked about, as just brought up an example of when Thomas Jefferson ran for president, he was accused of being an adulterer. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, I don't know. But he was accused of being an adulterer. So what happened to that news story? Somebody spoke it, somebody wrote it down, they put it on a horse or horses, and it was delivered hinter and yon by horsemen. You might have got it 1, 2, 3 days after it was said, and you heard it one time, or you read it one time. If Thomas Jefferson were alive today and accused of being an adulterer, you would have heard it 100 times today, 100 times tomorrow, 100 times the day after, ad infinitum, ad nauseum. You couldn't get away from it. You would have read it. You would have heard it. You would have seen it. You would have been on social media all about it. And you would have been hit over the head with it. That's what's different today. All right. Let's take a pause and see if we can get you some money here with our time to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks presented by Westside Decorating Center. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering this baseball word online at WSGW.com. The word this hour is mound. The pitcher stands on the mound, M-O-U-N-D. So now for media company-wide contest, must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks presented by Westside Decorating Center on WSGW.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. If you think you need a new roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with Roof Max, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment. Roof Max is a safe, easy, and affordable alternative to costly asphalt roof replacement, and it's guaranteed. So don't replace Roof Max.
Roof Max. Proven affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Call Ben today at 859-6751 or go to GetRoofMax.com for a free quote.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at Uma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. Well, an online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. AUDACY.
Broadcasting from the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios. This is WSGW.
All right, back with you in our final segment here, the open edition of Focus today. I want to chat with you just a moment about something that Governor DeSantis has done. He signed a permitless carry gun bill within hours of it landing on his desk. This is a bill that turns Florida into a constitutional carry state. There are many in the country. Florida is now the 26th that does not have a concealed weapons license like Michigan does. If you want to carry concealed in Michigan, you have to get a CPL, a concealed pistol license. Here's what I like, here's what I don't like about it. I like the fact that we're becoming a constitutional carry state. That's fine. We have a right to do that, I believe. I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment. But what I don't like about it is that there is no requirement for training. So, unlike Michigan, where in order to get your CPL, you have to take almost 5 hours of classroom and live fire to prove you can handle a gun and understand safety and understand when you can and cannot use a gun. There is absolutely no longer a requirement in Florida to have any training under the legislation State residents who can legally own a gun will be allowed to carry one without a permit, without training, without a background check of any kind. And the law takes effect July 1st. The law takes effect July 1st. I have a question. If you don't do any background checks, how do you know a person can legally carry a gun? I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in the right to carry. But I'm also safety conscious. I think that could be a mistake, not requiring people to go through some kind of course so they learn how to safely handle a gun and when they can and cannot use it. To me, that makes common sense. You don't do it every time you want to buy a gun. If you're a collector, you do it once, you get a certificate that says you passed the course. You go buy your gun, you sell it to the seller, that you show it to the seller that you passed a safety training course, and you're on your way. But I do not see the wisdom in removing required training from carrying. Now, it's just my opinion. You could have a different one. We'll talk about it again later this week. But for now, we're going to take our last break and then come back and close out.
Celebrate. Jesus Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. I'm Pastor Eric Schmidt of Peace Lutheran Ministries, and I want to personally invite you to celebrate Easter with us on Saturday, April 8th at 6:30 p.m. at Peace Lutheran School, 3161 Mondale Road in Saginaw Township, or on Easter Sunday, April 9th at any one of our three services, 6:30, 9:30, or 11:15 a.m. at Peace Lutheran Church, 3427 Adams Avenue in Saginaw. Join us in person or online at peacesaginaw.org. From all of us at Peace, we wish you a very happy Easter.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Applied Training Solutions. You are going to get half off of a CPL class. It's normally $150, but you're getting this deal for just $75. A CPL class is necessary for anyone looking for the proper certification to apply for a concealed pistol license in the state of Michigan. And you must be 21 or older. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
EasyCater presents We've Got Your Back, Up Singers.
So right before this important meeting, I get a text from EasyCater Ding, ding. that the restaurant lost power. No electricity. And I'm like, are you kidding me? She said sarcastically. But EasyCater was like, don't worry. No sweat. They got another restaurant to fill the whole order. The whole order. And I was like, are you kidding me? But in a good way. Inflection is everything.
Problem with your order? EasyCater has your back with over 100,000 restaurants.
EasyCater.
Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.
We got your back.
Honey, come here, quick.
What is it?
Shh, check it out. All these highly rated wines are under $20. Total Wine must have made a mistake.
Nope, they always have the lowest prices. Oh, remember that amazing rosé your sister brought over last week? See, it's right here.
Whoa, that's a low price. I mean, whoa, that's a low price.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total. Responsibly, B21.
And that'll do it for this edition of Focus Today, brought to you by RoofMax. Find out more online at getroofmax.com. That's RoofMax with two X's. Stick around now for the Farm Show. Farm Director Terry Henney and Jonathan Dent come along, bring you up to date on agricultural news. That's next.
Did you know soybean diseases like white mold and sudden death syndrome can survive in your soil even after rotating crops? Prevention of these diseases is a constant battle, and yield loss from an infection can be devastating.